Well, Mayor Olivia Chow and Premier Doug Ford are getting set to make an announcement this morning. It's an interesting announcement on the sort of soft launch ahead of the Eglinton LRT coming on Sunday. The Premier's there, the Mayor's there, the Transport Minister is there, several dignitaries as well on hand. So let's take you there live now at the Yonge and Eglinton station and get ready to hear more from the speaker. Okay, so doing a photo op at this point. So, okay, we got the photo op happening right here. Comes a plaque. Okay, this, of course, for the well over budget and well beyond time frame Eglinton LRT.
The Transport Minister standing there, Pregnant Sakaria as well, and also TDC presence as well.
Yeah, not a lot of fanfare because of the over budget, over delays, etc. But that is the Eglinton Yonge Street transit stop right there. We're going to listen in as the remarks get underway from the dignitaries here. Again, the Eglinton LRT, sort of a soft launch coming this coming Sunday. Let's listen in.
I'm Michelle Cooper, MPP for Eglinton Lawrence. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. It's great to be here with Premier Doug Ford and all my colleagues. Minister Sakaria, Minister McCarthy, Minister Kersner, Minister Raymond Cho, Minister Thanagascalan, PA Fearon, PA Dave Smith, PA Babican, and PA Graywall, as well as Mayor Chow. I am proud to be a part of a government making historic investments in infrastructure and transit. For the people of Eglinton Lawrence, 8 new stops connecting 2 transit stations. I am so proud to be part of a government who delivered on this important milestone. I now turn it over to Mayor Chow for her remarks.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here joined by Councillor Francis Nunziata, all the way from Mount Dennis, where the beginning of the west end of the line, and Councillor Rachel Chennis-Lynn, Councillor John Burnside, Councillor Patty Canavel, Chair Jamel Myers, and Councillor that goes all the way to the east side of this line, which is Councillor Michael Thompson. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today, and of course, the Premier. This Sunday marks a milestone for Toronto. The Eglinton Crosstown LRT opens to the public, finally. 19 kilometers, 25 stops, hundreds of thousands of residents, workers, and visitors gaining a new way to move across our city. From Etobicoke to Scarborough, connecting dozens of neighborhoods and helping the small businesses along the route attract more customers. The Crosstown deliver what Toronto needs, a vital east-west rapid transit link that tackles congestion and gets people where they need to go. 2/3 of the line runs underground, offering riders a smooth, reliable alternative to crowded buses along Eglinton. We are taking a thoughtful approach to this opening. The TDC, working in partnership with Metrolinx and Crosslink, will soft launch the Crosstown, ramping up services gradually as we get feedback from riders and make improvements. This approach reflects the recommendation from the 2022 public inquiry into the Ottawa LRT operations. Start carefully, monitor closely, and let real-world experience shape enhancements. Service will increase over time as we fine-tune the operations. Metrolinx and the TDC are committed to working together to build up frequency and reliability. Crosslink will address any technical issues that emerge during this phase-in period. The partnership is clear. Metrolinx owns the line, Crosslink build it and stand behind their work, TDC operates it, and we drive the trains and serve the riders. Now, for riders on the street level portion of the line, we're working to minimize delays at intersections and improve travel times. The TDC and the city are installing enhanced transit signal priorities on the track through the above-ground portion of Line 5, giving trains priority at traffic signals. The first round will go active in a couple of weeks before the end of this month, with ongoing monitoring and further improvements to follow. Of course, I introduce you to all the councillors that this line will serve, and I want to give a special shout-out thank you to the Premier and the Minister of Transportation and all the MPPs, the ministers that are here, and representative of Metrolinx and TDC. And most importantly, thank you to the communities along this line. Your patience through years of construction has made this possible. This Sunday, the wait is over. Riders will get moving on the crosstown, and that's exciting. Thank you.
All right, we just heard from Mayor Olivia Chow in kind of a joint announcement with Premier Doug Ford there, saying that the Crosstown LRT officially opens this Sunday. Once again, this is going to be a soft launch, so they're going to ramp up service gradually. It is built by Metrolinx, owned by Metrolinx, but the TDC will be running it 19 kilometers, 25 stops from Etobicoke to Scarborough. Very important, the street level section, they're going to be working on a transit signal priority to improve speed. Of course, we've seen those issues with Line 6, the Finch West LRT. Two-thirds of this line will be underground, though, so hopefully that will reduce the travel times for many people waiting for this long-awaited Crosstown LRT.
Crosstown LRT, let's listen in.
Continue to make historic investments in highways, roads, and transit to protect Ontario and to make Ontario the most competitive, resilient, self-reliant economy in all of G7. I want to thank everyone once again today, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We will now take questions from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question.
Good morning, Mark McAllister from City News. With respect to everybody that has gathered here on the platform this morning,
Yes.
with all the delays that have taken place to get to this point, all the issues that have happened, the impact on communities,
Yep.
we're $1 billion over budget at this point. I think I speak on behalf of a lot of Torontonians wondering, why are we even here celebrating, unveiling a plaque, having a photo op after everything that has taken place?
Well, Mark, everything that you said is factual. I don't look at the glass as half empty. I know you're very negative when it comes to this, but let me tell you, we're building the largest transit system in North America. There's going to be bumps in the road. And this is going to be around for close to a century, probably longer than a century. And then, as you heard, we're building the Scarborough extension. First time ever, Scarborough's actually going to be getting a subway, and we're going to extend it. And I know Michael Thompson's as happy as anything because we're going to bring subways all through Scarborough. We're ahead of schedule on Eglinton West. We're doing one of the most complicated underground digs, probably in North America. And that's the Ontario line. And all these stakeholders would agree, this is not easy. Was there bumps in the road? I've been saying there's bumps in the road. Have I been frustrated? I've been frustrated more than you, Mark. But hey, let's look at the glasses half full. 123,000 people a day are going to be on here. They don't have to be stuck on the buses and the traffic on Eglinton. Buddy, you got to be a little more positive. I get it. Like, really? Come on, Mark. You're good. He's a good guy, by the way.
I appreciate that.
Thanks,
unrelated to Eglinton, I wouldn't mind asking a question to Minister Sakaria,
Yep.
perhaps Michael Lindsay behind you as well. With the GO train issues that have taken place this week, we've got an entire week with issues with the GO trains as a result of this. No one from Metrolinx specifically has come forward to speak about this on camera publicly. We've had different press releases or comments offered via email. We're just wondering why there's been a lack of communication, and specifically, what can you tell us at this point happened on Monday and why there's been the issues since?
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everybody. I want to start by offering my apologies to everybody who is a GO rider, and I'm one myself. We pride ourselves on providing a better than 90% on-time service with high customer satisfaction to 250,000 people each and every day. And I know that the last 2 weeks have been a very tough time to be a Go rider. Without disputing your question, sir, I'd say that we've been trying to communicate to the best of our ability throughout this entire week. And our focus has obviously been, first and foremost, to repair and to recover from the incident that we had on Monday, which we have done. You will have seen the hardworking ladies and gentlemen that have been in the USRC, the Union Station Rail Corridor, fixing switches and signals. They are almost done. We are testing that infrastructure today, and as our communications to media and the public have said, we hope to return to full service tomorrow. That's our expectation. Safety takes the time that safety takes. You will hear more at the Metrolinx board meeting next Thursday about some of the root causes of the incident on Monday. We're confirming preliminary investigative findings. But I want to say unequivocally that with partners at Toronto Terminal Railways, we have walked every inch of the USRC. We can say unequivocally that it is safe. We appreciate the more than 200,000 people who have continued to rely on us each and every day this week. And more than anything, I would want to say one more time, what I think the ladies and gentlemen have done in the USRC, the fact that they have recovered from that incident within 72 hours is nothing short of heroic. So I am here to answer any questions on camera. We have tried to communicate to customers as well as to media. We could always do better, but I promise you we'll continue to be as transparent as we can be about Go service and its status.
Morning, Richard Southern, 680 News Radio. Hi, Premier. Considering the taxpayer is on the hook for the more than $1 billion this ran over budget, and they've had to wait 15 years, with that in mind, will you, yes or no, commit to calling a full public inquiry today into the crosstown construction? And if not, why not, Premier?
No, we aren't going to do that. We're going to move on and continue building the subways. We all know the mistakes, Richard. And we've acknowledged them and we've learned. All the stakeholders, Metrolinx, DTC, we're all in it together. And I'm the first to come out and acknowledge the mistakes. But I'm not going to waste time on inquiry and all the nonsense, tie all these people up. All these people here have more subways to build. Metrolinx, TTC, so that's what we're going to focus on. We all acknowledge. It'd be different if we didn't acknowledge it, but yeah, has it been a nightmare for all of us? 100%. The good news is we're moving, and we're going to move to 123,000 people a day, and that's going to grow every single day.
Obviously, this did start under a prior government, but you've been here for almost 8 years. You've acknowledged some mistakes. What have you and your government learned from this? And Premier, do you think you owe Ontarians and Torontonians an apology for the 15 years it's taken?
You know, Richard, I'd never be shy to apologize. At the end of the day, the buck stops with me, and I take all the responsibility, no matter if it's on time or if it's early, like Eglinton West. But this is my responsibility. We're learning, but I'll tell you one thing, our stakeholders, our builders, we're becoming some of the best tunnel boring folks in the world, transit boring folks, whatever you want to call it. And this was a big project. And yes, it started under a previous government. I take responsibility now, but we're going to continue building the Scarborough, the Yonge Extension, along with the Eglinton West and the Ontario line. Folks, what, Richard, you don't acknowledge, this is nothing less than a miracle, what we've done in a matter of like 6 years. 6 years when we put this plan together to buy the boring machines, to do multiple projects all at once. It's absolutely staggering. And is there going to be bumps? 100%. But when there's mistakes that happen, I'm a business guy. You correct the mistakes, you apologize, and tell them what you're going to do to correct it. And what we're going to do to correct it, we're going to make sure we don't see the same problems on the Ontario line, the Scarborough, and we're becoming better. So that's it.
Mattis Habibinia, Toronto Star. My first question is for you, Premier, just a follow-up to the note of the public inquiry. Without one, all we really have is the word of your government and Metrolinx. Some would say that's not enough. How can the public know that you guys really know what the mistakes were and that they won't be repeated then?
Oh, excuse the pun, but make no mistake about it. We live this every single day. And I'm so fortunate to have Michael Lindsay, at the helm, and I don't think there's a stakeholder out there right now that wouldn't say Michael Lindsay is a brilliant operator. He understands. He works with the builders and the stakeholders that build these structures. And it's not just there, and making sure the trains get built as well. So we're all hands on deck here. But again, I would love once for any of you media to say, just once, I'll keel over right here, that the largest project in North America, multiple lines, go anywhere in North America. Matter of fact, go to Europe. The only people that probably build trains quicker and tunnels are probably over in China. They do it a lot quicker than we do because they don't have the red tape and the regulations. But I'm very supportive of the team. It's never one team. It's a multitude of teams.
For my second question, and Premier, would love to hear from you as well as Mayor Chow. It's about Project South. Do you think it's appropriate that a former Chief of Staff and Executive Director of the Toronto Police Service Board will be investigating the Toronto Police Service?
Well, I don't get involved in police matters. I don't direct the police. I fully support Chief Demkew and Chief McSween. I'm unwavering in supporting our police officers, and I know the vast majority of the public, you might get the 5% or 10% lefties always going after the police, but no. Who do you call when you have an emergency? The police. I love our police. Do we have a few bad actors? Yeah, they're bad actors. They're going to be held accountable, as sure as I'm standing here, and it's an ongoing police investigation. But again, folks, I talk to a lot of people. They love our police. I love our police. The frontline police officers put their lives on the line every single day. And unfortunately, some police officers don't return home. They give the ultimate sacrifice. So they're champions, in my opinion. And they have steps that if the Toronto wants to hand it to the OPP or the RCMP or whatever, that's up to them. That's not up to me. I don't direct the police.
I believe Modis wanted to hear from the mayor as well on that question.
Just want to be clear. Your question is the Inspector General. Is that right? That is it appropriate to request?
Just repeat the question. Is it?
Yeah, sorry.
So Ryan Tuchner is the former Executive Director and Chief of Staff of the Toronto Police
To
Service
who?
Board.
To the police force.
To the police board.
Okay.
Yeah, so he knows the brass. Is it appropriate to have him be the one investigating people that he would interact with for years? He was also on the board when they promoted Chief Demkew, well, Officer Demkew to chief in 2022. Is that the appropriate person to be investigating the service?
Just to be clear, though, he's a civil servant, right?
Now he's the Inspector General of Ontario.
Right. The residents of Toronto deserve to know that the police officer that they deal with every day can be trusted. So I welcome any independent review, and I believe the Chief of Police and the Chair of the Police Board have asked the Inspector General to step in and do an independent inspection and review. This Inspector General is appointed by the provincial government, and he has the power to inspect the whole system. And I think some of the things that he'll be looking at will be systemic issues, etc. So what I do want to say, though, any police officer that is found to have committed crimes will be punished, and any officer working with organized crime deserves to be thrown in jail. We all agree on that. But the majority of the police officers that we deal with every day are wonderful. They work hard, and it's a really tough job, and I have confidence that they will continue to do so. But as to the system and these folks that allegedly violated the law, it should be investigated.
Hey, Premier Jack Allen from the Trillium.
Hi, Jack.
You've referred a lot to mistakes that were made throughout this project. What specifically are you referring to there? Maybe you could give me a top three.
Oh, buddy, I'm going to have to hand it over to Michael Lindsay, but it was just ongoing. And finally, we're able to roll this out, and I'm just happy that we're here today, and we're going to continue moving forward. But I'm not the guy down here, operating it. So, Michael, do you even want to bother answering this one, or what? Okay.
If I could, sir, what I'll do is I'll answer your question with reference to some of the things we're now doing on projects like the Ontario line that establish a bit of the difference between this project, its course and conduct, and what we're doing now, right? So the first thing that I would say is finding the right models, contract models, models of collaboration with private sector partners, with government agencies is important. One of the lessons we've clearly learned is we need contract forms to incentivize everybody to get to completion, especially when issues invariably arise. And you've seen that we have been a leader around the world in embracing new progressive forms of project development and delivery. That's part of the reason why projects like the Ontario line and the Eglinton Crosstown are where they are. The second thing that I would say is that system integration for a transit project, how the vehicles, the systems, and the civil infrastructure link to one another is a really challenging thing to do. Every jurisdiction around the world, every jurisdiction struggles with it. We do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard, and they're worth doing, right? But thinking about how we get the right discussions earlier in the process to make sure that system integration and a plan of service is baked in from the start is something that we're doing right now, and I have to give full credit and kudos to Mandeep and the team at the TTC. They have been fantastic, whether it's the Yonge North Subway extension or the Scarborough Subway extension, in making sure that we're learning those lessons. So that's just a flavor of some of what we're learning. Last thought that I'd offer, we are always learning about how to better manage disruption for local communities, local riders, and local businesses. And I promise you that everybody that's in front of you today wants to make construction as fast and as minimally disruptive as possible, while knowing that construction is disruptive. And we're all going to have to deal and be patient with some of that. So those are some of my thoughts.
Thank you. Premier, part of the public's frustration with this project has been the black box that Metrolinx has been in terms of public communication. And part of that has been because of your government's editing of communications before they go out. Do you think that you need to do a better job and Metrolinx needs to do a better job if you're not going to call an inquiry at being transparent?
Oh, we are transparent, and that's a little offensive saying we aren't. I'm out in the press more than any elected official in the country. You ask me every question you possibly can. So I think we're being pretty transparent. I just want to move forward. I want to start continuing to build the other subway lines as quickly as possible. We're in an economic war right now. It's all about faster, quicker, immediate. No matter if it's the province approving stuff, items, or the municipalities or the federal government, we got to get the red tape. We got to get the regulations out. It's so frustrating, even dealing with the bureaucracy sometime. And I love the public service. They work hard. But, we've been doing it this way for 30 years. Okay, we aren't doing it this way for 30 years. We're working on private sector time, not government time. We have to be pushing non-stop. And that goes for all three levels of government. I'm confident everyone across our country is realizing it. We're in an economic war with President Trump. But we have everything we need right here to be self-reliant and move forward. And that's exactly what we're going to do, no matter if it's creating the largest energy grid in the world, actually, and or the critical minerals, or building subways and tunnels and highways. Forget the red tape, start moving. We can't be taking 10, 15 years to do things any longer. Faster, quicker, immediate.
Hi, Premier. Matthew Bingley with Global News. I just want to follow up on Jack's question there, because it became very clear a few years ago when there were several missed target dates for the opening of this line that Metrolinx changed their communications strategy to limit the amount of interviews they were doing with the media to answer questions, and it has been very apparent for several years now. And obviously it's nice that you're up here able to talk to us on the occasion, but will your government allow us to talk to Metrolinx directly, regularly, especially when there are so many issues with whatever line that they're working on.
You can talk to Metrolinx anytime you want. That's going to be up to Michael Lindsay. He's a great leader. He's a great communicator, as you can tell. But we're going to continue just moving forward. Guys, you're beating a dead horse here. We've been going through this for years. The same old questions. Let's celebrate a new line. Talk to the 123,000 people are not going to be freezing in the cold upstairs waiting for a bus. They're going to be on a subway. It's going to be spectacular. Next question.
Okay, I'm going to take you up on your offer to talk to Michael Lindsay.
Good.
Michael, I got a question for you here.
Good. Go ahead.
My question is about the Ontario line. Can you give us an updated timeline for when that will open? And obviously the Premier was concerned about congestion on his way over here. There are two major intersections downtown that have been tied up for years at Queen Street, Bay and Yonge, and even Victoria Street. Can you give us an idea of when that will open? Because obviously the Premier needs to get places faster, and that's causing a lot of congestion.
Yes, sir. Summary of highlights in respect of Ontario line. Every single station on the southern alignment of the Ontario line is fully excavated and is now being turned into an actual transit station. The tunnel boring machine for the Ontario line is being assembled at the exhibition portal right now. We'll start tunneling operations on the Ontario line this spring. Minister Sakaria drew attention to the fact that the first of 3 spans across the Don River, we are collectively building the Bloor Viaduct 3 more times for this project, was pushed into place this past weekend. You will see spans going up in the Don Valley at the other 2 locations this spring. All of these things are evidence of the progress of that job. And we are working with partners, especially in the private sector, through a multitude of contracts that are going to bring this job together to figure out on this complex project how those interfaces overlap, how we build safely, and what that means for the total timeline of the project. But all of the milestones that we are setting for ourselves in respect of the Ontario line, we're achieving. We're doing it collaboratively with our partners. And through the Metrolinx board, the Government of Ontario, and through Metrolinx, we'll continue to provide as many updates as we can as to how that project's going.
Jeffrey, Globe Mail. Hi, Premier.
Hi.
Just so we're all getting cold here, I'll just ask you an off-topic question.
Okay.
And it's a serious one. You mentioned the bust yesterday, called it disturbing. I mean, the most disturbing thing, one of them, is that there was a murder plot against a correction supervisor, which I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing.
I know.
Has your government taken any steps to improve security for the people that work in the province's jails?
Well, we value our correctional services officers. They have one of the toughest jobs. Just imagine working in that environment. We're doing everything we can to support them. And this active police investigation is going to continue. It's staggering when you hear there was a plot to murder a supervisor of the correctional services. But they're going to be, the same people that made those plots. That same supervisor is going to look at them behind bars, and I guess it didn't work out too well for those. But you can tell the system is working. You can tell that we have great police investigating their own, and I have all the confidence in the world in all our police across the province, no matter if it's the OPP or York Region with Chief McSween, Chief Nish over at Peel. Steve, my good buddy in Halton. They're all great people. I'm sorry, I'm missing people. I shouldn't even start. And Demke as well. I have all the confidence in the world in them. And the system works because these guys got caught. And I'm sure the active investigation is going to continue looking into other bad actors. But folks, support our police. They're incredible.
Any specifics, though, a review? Would you look at some sort of review of the way security is handled at that prison for the staff in particular who are so vulnerable, obviously?
But the system worked. It was reported, and the investigation started right away. Again, I don't direct the police, but I have all the confidence in the world in our frontline police officers and the chiefs and the upper brass. How do you think they feel? They're devastated. They're frustrated. Frontline officers are frustrated because of what happened. So No one condones this behavior, and they're going to be held accountable. Simple as that.
This will be the last reporter.
Clara Pasica, CBC. So, Premier, this is a question from our colleagues in Windsor. Stellantis sold its stake of the battery plant in Windsor to the partner LG Energy Solution. Now, does this change any of the financial or job commitments on the project, and does it cause you any concern that this has happened?
No, Stellantis is making a financial decision. They're still going to use their batteries for their vehicles. LG is going to hold on to the 800 employees there. And I think it was a good business decision, to be frank with you. So the 800 people are still going to have their jobs there.
And then back here at the station, a question for you as well as Mr. Lindsay. So, we're here. It's a world-class project, but we spent billions of dollars, but it is absolutely freezing here in what is supposed to be a world-class station. Do you think that's a problem, and are you going to do anything about it?
I'll pass that over to Michael Lindsay.
Sunday, we open for revenue service. All procedures will be in place, including turning the heat up. By the way, when you have a fully functioning transit system and not just an empty cavern, it'll be much warmer. And of course, we'll continue to work with partners at the TTC to understand rider feedback about what could be improved in respect of all of this project. But the last thought that I would want to leave everybody with is, notwithstanding the challenges, I'm very optimistic that collectively we will recover a sense of pride in this project, because it is world-class, and it is going to be a game changer for the residents of this community.
That concludes our media questions.
That's great. Thank you, everyone. We're going to continue building infrastructure, highways and roads and subways.
Well, we've been listening to Premier Doug Ford alongside Mayor Olivia Chow making an announcement talking about the opening of the long-delayed Eglinton Crosstown LRT, which is scheduled to open on Sunday. We're going to have a lot more on this story throughout the morning and afternoon.